Hey everybody, it's Curtis back at you with Newfie Speed and Custom. We're today going to install the clutch in this 505 big block I got going into this 69 Charger. Anyway, here's the flywheel all cleaned up. And here's the transmission, TKX 5-speed. So here's the clutch. It's a Ram clutch with let's see if I can hold this box open. With puck flywheel. And first we get this box open. Oh, look at that printed pink clutch. And these are the splines, plastic ones. They're the same as the ones on the input shaft. Right there, like so. I'll show you what they're for in a minute. But anyway, let's get started. Okay, well, first thing is here is our clutch plate to flywheel bolts. So we're going to just cut open the box a bit, pull these apart. Now, something I have to show you. It comes with washers. Now, I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's see if I can do it this way. If you can see it, you see one side of the washer is like super flat, and the other side, I don't know if it's shown on the screen, as like a tapered end on it. That's so it fits the bolt. You got to put the tapered end into the bolt and the flat end on the flywheel, and then so you can turn together. Like I don't know if you can pick it up or not, but where it's kind of not. Yeah, that angle might be good right there. And then you look at the other side; it's super flat. So the tapered end's got to go because the bolt is tapered a little tiny bit, and it's so it fits super flat against the bolt. So we're going to match these up. Very important to put them on the right way. Looks like I'm missing one bolt in the box. So I'm gonna go look for that. Okay, so I got all my bolts. As you can see, like I showed you before, they're tapered on the inside. And then they're flat on the back side. So the taper part goes up to the top. I got some blue Loctite that I'll just put on them. And then this is the paper that was in the box, in the page. So we have 3/8 bolts. So we're going to torque them to, 3/8 bolts. We're going to torque them to 45 foot-pounds. Because it is, I use 3/8 nut, so I know that's what size it is. So what I gotta do now is take the pressure plate out. As you can see, it's all the springs. So when you push on your clutch, there's basically my throwout bearing that sits there like so, and then this here piece extends out to the end of that, and then pushes, and then these little fingers go in. And pushes this disc, lets this disc slide down, so it releases a little tiny gap between this and the flywheel, or between this and the clutch plate. So first thing I gotta do is get some brake clean. Clean up good. And you can see, look, that's just shipping grease, dirt.
We didn't get quite that far. So, we had the red eye version, yeah, but you got the manual. The manual is pretty rare. The manual is
then we got our. I'll show you something. So this is our basically the input shaft of the transmission. And this is the clutch. So normally some of them have it written right here. It'll say transmission side. This here goes in like so. That's like transmission. These springs are there because actually if you see there's two discs. So what happens is when you engage the clutch, this actually twists and these springs bring it back. So this here thing actually squeezes these springs and these two discs move independently of each other and they creak like that when you dump the clutch or sidestep the clutch, whichever you want to call it. So then this piece here basically goes in onto into the back of that thing that I installed earlier, the bushing. But listen to this. It's a tight fit, right? It's so satisfying to do that. So like I explained to you before, there's like if you can see the side profile, this piece sticks out, that piece is flat. If you were to put the clutch in backwards, like so, see it wouldn't fully engage because it's hitting the flywheel. There's a gap there. So what happens is this piece goes in this way, like so, and then, so as you can see, there's a big hole there, a big opening. So this piece actually fits inside and it doesn't slide. Some of these will have little pins, like little dowel pins to line it, but this one doesn't do it. So we just slide this on over. As you can see, I got blue Loctite put on my bolts. And then you just bolt them in. I want to show you something. You see when you're torquing this down? Just watch these fingers as they move. Okay, now there's a trick to this if you didn't have one of these things, is what I do is I leave the bolts loose and then the clutch can move around. So if you've ever, summers when you're doing a clutch and you don't have one of these, the easiest thing to do is leave the bolts really loose so the clutch disc is super loose inside of the bell housing, and then you can put your finger in when the bell housing's on and you're lining up the channel. You can put your finger in, or a wrench or a screwdriver, and push on the disc, and you can manipulate the disc to go around so it all slips in. Then you can just tighten these up after through the bottom. Just crank the engine over, do one at a time, through the bottom to get it all tightened down and snug again. But with one of these, it makes life a lot easier. So now, get my torque wrench and torque it down. Now I gotta torque the torque wrench. Set at 45, I'm gonna just back a bit. And I always do it in a cross pattern. There you go. They're all torqued in. Okay, so here's basically a mini starter that I have out of a Dakota. And that's what I was showing you earlier about. This is set up for two separate flywheels, like 11-inch. So that would fit there, basically for an 11-inch flywheel. Whoops. For 11-inch flywheel, and then for a 10.5, it moves it in two little spots. So it's actually two spaces it could go, which is pretty cool. So now, I'll put the flywheel or the bell housing back on. That's in here. Okay, so the next thing we gotta do is measure the depth of this slave cylinder where it goes out. So we have this piece, we have this collar. The collar fits the convex piece on this, fits the concave piece in this, so it fits nice. And then we have a bunch of shims that we gotta shim it. The only problem is I was noticing that with the shims, I don't know if you can see it in the pitch in the thing, but you see like right there, it's like when it was stamped, it sticks. Then when you go to put it on, see the gap it leaves you in the back? Because there's a slight little taper there. And this thing won't let you go on. So I got one of these things. I'm gonna put it in here. Then I was gonna use a drill. Sorry to do this with one hand. I was gonna use a drill to basically come in and go on the inside like so. You can use a die as a die grinder, but I find the die grinder is a little bit too fast. And I don't want to take a whole lot of material off. I just want to take the little burr off. Right there. You can feel it with your finger too when you rub it. So then we have this piece here. It's got to go in. You got to take this bottom bolt out and then put this in. And what that does is that rides on the side and keeps this from wanting to spin. It locks it in place type thing. So the first thing you got to do is take my trusty square. That's what they tell you to do. And then you gotta go inside. Make sure it's flat to the side, flat on the fingers. So it's just touching the fingers, right? You can hear that. You can see it's flat. So then if you put this here, like so, I know some guy in the comments probably gonna say something, but, and then I figured when this thing is on, I'll measure it like this, right? Basically, push this thing in so it touches, and then that should be where my pressure plate should be. So that should be right there now. Should be square. Is measure there's no way I can do this like this. Actually, I have a better idea. So what about if I take a bunch of shims and put in there? So you see, if I take the shims, I could kind of use the shims as a go no-go gauge. Yeah, I know I need these many shims. See if you can see this shim is particularly bad right there. Like you know, it sticks in your finger, right? Like your finger hooks in it. So I got to try and figure it out. Make it bigger. Look, I can't hardly even get that one on the shaft. It's so bad. Like, look how far that stays away. Should go in flush, right? But that one's so bad. So, you gotta find one. It's not horrible. Like this one. It's not horrible. Oh, that one's pretty close. Still a little bit, but it's pretty close. I think I'm just gonna hog this one out a little bit, clean this one out a little bit. So I'll just put this in a drill. I like using drill rather than a die grinder because it will get. Then you just put it in there. Could be a while. This stuff here is really hard. But so I had to switch to a burr bit. But the burr bit's pretty. Must have been using aluminum with it. It's full of aluminum pieces, but. Now let's try it now. I gotta clean it up still, keep the burrs off it, but. Yeah, it fits even better now. It's a little bit of a gap there, but not much. I guess I could measure it with a micron, with a feeler gauge, but I think I'm gonna call that good. So I'm gonna take the rest of these and just clean the burr bits off of these. Some of these are pretty bad. See, like there's one right here. Look. Some of them even have them on the outside. See? original one. Bit of brake clean. Just touches. I think I might take one shim out of it. So, yeah, there's a little thin one right there. Actually, one of them fat ones probably good. Did they tell you you're allowed like 3/8 of an inch of movement? Yeah, so that's the gap I would have between when the clutch is depressed. Because technically the clutch would be totally released right now and all the fluid would be in the back. So and this will be my depth. It's right here. So we put that on the case and I got like, if I straighten that out, you know, got like 1/8 of an inch, which should be thousands for that. The other thing I like to do is take a bit of Simile lube. Just put a little bit on your finger. Put it on the shaft. I know clutch dust and stuff's gonna stick to it, but technically this doesn't slide anymore. The old school one, that the bearing would slide on this shaft, but this kind of sits there. I just want to make it sure, so it. Put your shims on. And same thing, in there, just lube inside the ring. Make sure it concave. So I was saying to you about a concave. This side is convex. This side's convex. This side's concave, and they fit together like so. So make sure he puts that one on right. And oh, actually, gotta remove that bolt. Remove the bolt. And they're about the same. I should put a bit of blue Loctite on that. And I get a wrench. Yeah, so just take my old school blue Loctite. And then rod keeps this thing from turning, locks it in place. These things go screwed in here. And this would be my bleeder, as you can tell. There's my bleeder. It doesn't specify in the kit which side it goes. So I'm thinking it goes on this side. I just picked the side. And then this goes screwed into here. And then this here hangs out the bell housing. And then I have the other one here that comes out of the bell housing and goes up to the clutch pedal. So I'll get some tread tape put on that, just to be sure. I couldn't find no tread tape, but I have this tread sealer, which is basically the liquid form of it. I have this little thing made because I'm cheap. I like to get every bit of everything I can get, so you just slides it on, cranks it. Till it squirts out the end. Just put a little bit on to kind of twist it a bit. Just kind of take your finger, rub it in, screw it in the top. We have two fittings that are exact same. So we'll put this one in the bottom. That doesn't matter which fitting goes where on it, but now I got it everywhere. That's the worst thing. This is like never sees. You get this everywhere. Then just take your 11mm wrench, tighten them up. Snug. I don't know if they don't give you no torque spec for it. Just snug, I guess. And then it should be it. Mount the transmission in the bell housing, I guess, next. So we'll see if we can get this to fit in there. And I guess you guys are gonna have a laugh watching me struggle to line all this up. Well, let's see if we can do it on the first attempt. What I forgot was we should lube this ring, because this is what centers the transmission is in this ring. So I'm going to put just a little bit of that assembly lube on it. Just like this, just because I think it would help.